Aye.
Okay. You know, there have been some questions asked about our budget hearing. And the fact that we did not redo the budget hearing, but instead we continued forward, even though there was some concern about the legality of it. We did a lot of research on it. We did a lot of speaking together as a board, and I asked Attorney Egan to give me an opinion on it and what his thoughts are. I'd like those to explain to the public what that opinion was.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the public. As a matter of fact, there was even an email question from a resident on the same question, but there were procedural fine points that were not included in the recent article, but wanted to talk about what the consequences were that we were aware of. First, the public hearing had to be held by April 15th, with no adjournment beyond April 20th, and the budget must be adopted by municipal law by May 1st. Now, the consequence for it is not so much the notice requirement that sets forth the procedural niceties, which, by the way, is the same notice that the villages have been using for the last many decades. But 55084 sets forth, in the event that the Board of Trustees shall fail to adopt the budget on or before the first day of May, the tentative budget, with such changes, alterations, and revisions as shall have been made by resolution of the Board of Trustees, shall constitute the budget for the ensuing fiscal year. So on consultation, as we reviewed it with the mayor as to what the consequence would be, the New York State Comptroller's Office Budget Guide for Local Governments itself reiterates that the failure to adopt the budget by May 1st, whether because of defective notice or otherwise, results in a tentative budget that was admitted by resolution and filed in the village clerk's office by the treasurer, is automatically the budget for the next fiscal year. That being not enough, I wanted to have a second citation, not beyond just the budget guide for local governments produced by the comptroller's office, but there was a 1979 opinion by the comptroller, which, by the way, is the only opinion that's out there, and there is no other case law on this situation. The comptroller's office itself stated that while there are procedural requirements that need to be included in the notice, it added, quote, "It was not clear what effect, if any, results from a failure to notice the budget hearing in accordance with Village Law 5508 would be." Reason why is because the default tentative budget is automatically approved. It's a procedure that's followed in other villages where a default budget, a tentative budget is filed, there is no budget hearing, and then that default budget automatically becomes the budget as of May 1. However, that's not been the process that we're doing patch over with public hearing. So the result is it's deemed filed with the village clerk, and as set forth in 5508, that budget as of May 1 automatically becomes the budget for the village.
We basically felt that presenting the budget, approving the budget was much more important than a clerical error on, not even a clerical error,
Omissions from the
omissions.
notice
The notice.
to scuttle the public hearing was not necessary when the consequence was exactly the same.
Right, and it was more of an issue of past practice, as the way that it has been done in this village and many other villages. And we felt moving forward where we should go, and that really is the sum and substance of the issue. And I think that the issue being that putting it off would have put us in a situation possibly of having to accept it as we were going to accept it anyway, with or without it.
Correct. The deadline of April 15th and then no later than April 20th would have been tight to meet publication, when the ultimate effect was the budget would have been adopted by May 1 by default anyway as the original tentative filed budget.
And what would the cost have been to re-advertise that?
There would have been a cost, but it more along the line of, the real issue was the timing, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
As you talk about budget, when we did the budget hearing, one of the issues that we brought up was workman's comp, the cost. Of course, the workman's comp this year was up to $950